Good evening and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm going to throw the Bear Cape Lego this site, the emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not a subscriber, you can say hi. You could use someone else's emotes, or you have the right to remain silent. That didn't come out great. It's okay. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. This is the intro portion of the stream. I'm going to say hi to people. Going to say hi to people that say hi to me in chat. I'm going to wait, give people a chance to be fashionably late to the stream, and I'm gonna, just kind of chill and get ready for it. Get myself vocally warmed up. I did some vocal warm ups already, but I didn't do I don't know, I didn't just chat with y'all, which is what I'm going to do now. And then we'll get into the model kit building portion of the stream, which is most of the stream. You got pre-show, one. You got intro. You got main portion of the stream. You got taking a break, pause for the cause. You got the second half of the stream. That's it. Like 5 things. 4 things if you don't count pre-show. And I get why you wouldn't. But anyway, it's going to be good. Working on the real grade, the 2021 real grade Hi-Nu Gundam, which we started from the bottom and we're working our way up to the chest. I got some of the chest here that I have started assembling, which is unusual to start with the feet and work all the way up. It is kind of fun to just see the bottom of a kit. It's weird because I've been doing a new thing lately with my I'm live streaming photo. I take a screen cap of myself in OBS with the thing I'm working on, and so it's been weird to be like, hey, I made some legs, and now I'm gonna do something else with it. I don't know. I find it pretty silly. I was going to say I find it very funny. I don't find it very funny, but I do find it silly. Take a quick look here. The old chat, see who's around. I've got a few people here tonight. Hello, friends. I hope you're all doing well. Maybe some people are chilling out here, deciding to reserve their right to remain silent and just chill. And that's cool. That's okay. We don't need a lot. We don't need a lot of chitter chatter. I mean, I welcome it and appreciate it. But yeah, it is the night before Thanksgiving here in the United States. And I decided that instead of playing video games, I would build a model kit. I could have just done a gaming stream tonight, would have been fine. But I made the choice to, instead of doing that, to work on a model kit because I won't be streaming tomorrow. So, your Thursday night plans, they don't involve me. I will be done with Thanksgiving around here by then, but I will be full of turkey and fixins. So I don't want to. And then, yeah, and then Saturday we'll be back to normal. Yeah, I'm excited about it. We'll talk turkey and other Thanksgiving things as we go, I'm sure, as we work on the chest of this real grade and to the arms, because I think the chest isn't, it's complicated, but it's not that complicated. So I feel like we can get the whole chest put together and then get started on the arms, which are not fully symmetrical. So we're going to be doing some stuff that's the same, and then do the right arm, then do the left arm, and then the shoulders. Gotta put together the pauldrons. Gotta put together your shoulders, and then the head, and then the backpack. Do I think I'm going to finish this kit on Saturday? No. Do I think I'll finish it on Monday? Yes. Then I don't know what we're going to build after that. I gotta wait and do a poll. Is that I don't like I said, I don't know what's next on the agenda, but there will be more model kit building because it would be weird if I didn't keep building model kits. It'd be pretty strange. Anyway, I'm going to retweet my tweet. Let's get into building. What am I doing hanging out like this? Hopefully a few more friends will decide to join us tonight. If not, that's okay. I understand that this is my Wednesday, which normally I play the video games, and some people, they're not about that, but I'm building tonight, but they don't watch me on Wednesdays, so they're torn. I understand. Go to the main screen. Boom. Also, a reminder, we're currently at 46 out of 50 subscribers, trying to hit that 50 by the end of the month. Hopefully we can do it. If you would like to subscribe or you'd like to gift a sub to someone in the community, you do that. No pressure though. So we got our legs here, we got our waist, we got our side skirts on. All of this is looking real good. Lots of movement and posability in this. Very fun, very cool. Into it. Real grades, lots of detail. We got our chest here. We're gonna put some of this together. Um, we'll get that together. We're gonna panel line everything once we're done. So right now we're just doing assembly of the chest, and we'll get into that there, and then we'll have some stuff to build off of as we assemble this here. We'll draw our lines up right. And great. So, prep today. Apple pie. You saw my photo. You know that apple pie had a bit of a cave in. Not extreme cave in, but some cave in. And scoring did not help this time. Scoring should the top of the pie crust should theoretically allow steam to escape, which should keep the pie from rising too much and there being a big gap, and then there's nothing to protect the top of the pie, and then it cracks. That did not happen. So there's a little bit there, but you know what? Once it's sliced and there's ice cream on top of it, as long as it tastes good, that's all that matters. So presentation wise, certainly it is you know, a bummer that happened. But to be clear, it's going to be a tasty pie. And being a tasty pie is the most important thing about making a pie. Look, having a pie that looks appetizing, that looks good and perfect, yeah, that's nice. I like it. I'm not saying it isn't good to have that. But what I am saying specifically is gotta have a pie that tastes good. Because if it doesn't taste good, what are we even doing here? That's the thing, right? Um, so yeah, a lot of that, a lot of getting apples ready for that pie, baking a pie, all that stuff around here. Also, a thing that happened, prepping many potatoes because we're doing mashed potatoes for what, 5 of us. So many potatoes needed to be peeled and prepped for mashing tomorrow. I did that, got that done. Turkey's all defrosted. Figured out when that needs to go in tomorrow, so that's good. Get a bunch of stuff done around here. That's the plan. Just get a bunch of stuff done. Be ready for it. Do whatever is necessary to make this work and make everybody feel pretty great about Thanksgiving. Are there yams for the people that like yams? Yes. Am I one of those people? No. Is there a lot of stuffing? Assuming that other people in this house besides me are very excited about stuffing. Yes, because I am not. I am not a person that has any interest in stuffing. Just not my thing. Um, so that's getting taken care of. Okay, so we put it like this. Sorry, this does not want to. Yeah, Lashbrook, I don't like stuffing. You look, stuff it. I don't care if it's in a bird or not in a bird. It's not, I don't like it. I never have. I don't know if I ever will, but I don't like stuffing. And I know all the ingredients in it are things that I like. And I used to think it was, oh, you know what? You know what? I don't like stuffing because I don't like how soggy it is in a bird. I don't like scooping it out of the insides of a carcass and then eating it. But also, sometimes you can have stuffing that's just baked on the side. I also don't like that. I just don't like stuffing. But that's okay because then there's more stuffing for other people that do like stuffing. They get to have it, and I don't have to. I could honestly skip the turkey. Just give me stuffing. Lashbrook, no. No, no, no. You gotta have turkey. That's the important thing. That's what we're all here for. Really, with properly prepared, properly carved turkey, with all with some gravy. If you want to do out of a can, out of a jar, you want to do. You're somebody that makes out of drippings and does it there and thickens it right there, right after the fact. Do whatever you gotta do. I understand. I get you. Um, Me, yeah, I'm all about the turkey. I'm all about the mashed potatoes. Uh, I'm about whatever veggie we've got coming. Specifically, I like a green bean or a pea, especially like the very sweet Lesueur peas. Ooh, those are the best. Um, I'm fine with like a casserole. That sounds great. My family's never done macaroni and cheese. I didn't have mac and cheese on Thanksgiving until I started going to friend Thanksgivings, like friend forward planned by people that I know Thanksgivings. That's the first time I ever had mac and cheese. And I know that it's a staple for many people, just never was for me. Of course, cranberry sauce. Here's the thing. I like a real like berry forward cranberry sauce. I also like it out of the can where you get the inside of the rings, there. Like I'll take that. I'll take the gelatinous gel. I'll eat it. Dirty, welcome. Happy to have you here, Dirty. I'll eat either cranberry sauce. Your cranberry sauce is homemade. It's got raisins in it. Sure, I'll eat that too. It's more of a chutney than a sauce or a gel. Sure, I'll eat that. I don't care. That to me, no problems at all. Uh, but yeah, it was the it's not odd. There's nothing odd about this, but the very first year that I was in New York and my parents had moved here to South Carolina, it was the first year I was coming in with no family for Thanksgiving, and I was feeling kind of weird about that. I was feeling my feelings about not being with my family, and so I got invited to go with a friend of mine up to Poughkeepsie, New York, to go to her family's Thanksgiving. And they were very Italian family. And we started the meal with turkey meatball soup. So it was turkey meatballs in a soup. It was just like turkey soup, but it was meatballs. And that to me, I was like, I like this. I do like the idea of starting with a soup. That was very strange to me. And of course, there was pasta on the table for Thanksgiving, along with other things. There were like two different kinds of pasta, and some fish as well. Um, and it was like, yeah, this feels very Italian. But it was also like, I got my turkey, I got my potatoes. I'm feeling okay about all of this. Last says, I don't care for cranberry in either canned or homemade, real deal form, too tart. See, I like it. I like a little bit tart because there's not anything tart on the table. You got a lot of savory going on, and you got a lot of salty going on. So I think a little tart, I'm in favor of. Okay. So it's telling me one of these is the right way to do it, and one of these is not. Uh, and the right way to do it, you can't. There's no way you can say. But the one not to do it, there's a little bar here. So this is the way I'm supposed to go into this, and that goes, I think, is the same no matter what. Okay, so that's going to look good, and then this goes into the shorter side of this, I believe. These are the connectors for the arms here. That doesn't look right. Why does it go like that? Why would I do it like that? That's barely connected. That doesn't seem right at all. It goes like that. That doesn't seem right. Sorry, folks. I'm looking at this and I'm like, this doesn't seem like how it should go. It doesn't look like it should go like that. I guess it does. All right. Well, I'm going by exactly what it's saying, even though I don't think that it doesn't feel right to me. And we'll find out if I did this wrong, which is always possible. It's always possible that I'm just doing it wrong. So we'll see. But okay, I think that's right. We'll find out. Ristafan says, I can't stay, just pop it in. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Ristafan. Sorry you can't stay here on this Wednesday. I'll hopefully see you on Saturday, and I hope you're having a good one. And Lester says, Happy Thanksgiving all. Yes, indeed. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving here in the United States. It is Thanksgiving Eve, as some people refer to it, which I like. It is also known as Bar Night because the returning college students all go out in their hometown to a bar, and many of those students have never gone to a bar in their hometown before because they're suddenly of the age where they can do that. And so they're like, I guess we'll go to a bar. So it is often bar night because it is your local bar is full of people that you know from the neighborhood, and you're like, "Are you 21? What's happening?" And sometimes they are. It also, for a very very small amount of people here in the world, uh, for very small folks, small amount of folks, it is indeed Sandwich Night, which was started by the Chris Gethard Show back in its public access form, and then I don't believe celebrated on the TV form. But Sandwich Night, a very important evening where I mean, basically, you eat sandwiches uh, and you hang out, and it's a fun time. But that's Sandwich Night. It's a good night. Did not have a sandwich tonight. I'd had a sandwich today for lunch. Steak sandwich, real tasty. Uh, let's see, yeah, and it was just prepping for Thanksgiving. That Thanksgiving that I was talking about, where I went to Poughkeepsie, that was really fun because it was, like I said, I had for years I lived in New York and my parents lived in Connecticut, and I would just go to their house for Thanksgiving. Wasn't a big deal. What did was fine. Just got on the train and went. Okay, so now let's see if I can get this connected right. Is this looking correct? Is that right? No, this is not right. Okay. I was going to say, this didn't feel right, and it isn't, because it wants to go the other way. That's how it should go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I was saying to myself, this doesn't feel like I'm doing this right, and it was because I wasn't. So that goes in like that. Sometimes these little connectors are tricky. Anyway, so my friend Lauren had invited me to go up with her to her family house in Poughkeepsie, and I was like, oh, "Is this going to be weird? Is this going to be awkward? Like we're friends, but like, are they going to be cool with this? Are they going to be weird? Are they going to be like, like who is this guy or whatever?" Turns out Lauren would do this a lot because she went to school pretty locally. So she would bring people from friends of hers who couldn't go to their families at Thanksgiving back in the college days and in her time in New York. She's done this before, so I wasn't the first one to ever make this appearance. There are stickers here that go on these little connectors. I'm not even going to worry about them because they are so tiny and we will never see them. These are the little stickers here. They're right there. You would just never see these. You're never going to see that at all. There's no point in me worrying about those little tiny stickers. I'm tired of doing these tiny stickers on the inside of this kit. They look cool, but I don't need it. Anyway, so Lauren had pulled this a bunch, right? So there was nothing weird about it. Everything was fine. And if I was at all worried about like feeling awkward in this house and not knowing what was going on, it didn't matter because Lauren's friend from New York. Well, it was nice to talk to Lauren's friend from New York. That's me. See what he's about, what he's like. That was cool. They were into that. The more important thing was Lauren's cousin brought her new boyfriend that no one in the family had met yet, and he was from Australia. This was his first American Thanksgiving. He's Australian. That already is way more interesting than weird comedy friend from New York. Uh, the idea that this dude was Australian and had never celebrated Thanksgiving before, he was completely and utterly the center of attention, and it was so great because I just got to be funny and fun and make jokes and help and like be around, and it was great. There were like no like conversations of like, so are you like, nobody asked if we were dating. No one uh no one like asked me like why I wasn't with my family. Nothing came up. It was totally cool because the idea that there was an Australian there who had never celebrated Thanksgiving was way more interesting. Also, he was dating Lauren's cousin, so that was also like a big topic of conversation. Um, I had a similar thing happen to me, but I am Canadian. Also, we have Thanksgiving. It's just earlier. Yes, you have your own Thanksgiving. Um, so the very next year, I went to a friend of mine had a Friendsgiving, and it was very fun. But he was in a writing group, uh, which was very cool. So like a writing group like in grad school. So he invited people that were there that didn't have anywhere to go to come over for Thanksgiving. And sometimes you get people who are like, I live out of state, like, oh, I'm not going to travel. I would travel, but Christmas is coming up and I'd rather travel then. You get that kind of stuff, right? You also get people who are like, I am I am here to go to school from another country. And so we had like the first year we did it, we had like three people who were like, all I know about Thanksgiving is the episodes of Friends that take place on Thanksgiving, which is like obviously not typical for most people. But imagine this. Imagine your idea of what Thanksgiving is Friends, a show that takes place in New York where the only family that gets together are the brother and sister who hang out and all of their friends, and there's no family there. It's just friends eating together. That is very identical to what that Friendsgiving was. It was a New York apartment full of people who knew each other and some of whom we didn't know each other, hanging out and eating. Uh, and then like trying to talk about what it's like, and there was like nobody watched the parade because none of us were interested in the parade. We hung out, we played board games. It was really fun and dorky. And so like it was like, oh, that is pretty similar to most episodes of Friends that were about Thanksgiving. I mean, there were a couple that weren't that, but most of them were that. I mean, they played flag football one year. Um, but yeah, I mean, for Canadian friends, it's very similar. Our Thanksgivings are pretty dang similar. Yours is just at a different time in the year, and not that different of a time. Fairly close. So it ain't much different. Oh, I got to do these second, and there's some undergating. Real grades have undergating. You got to remember that little extra pieces you got to chip off because if you don't do it before you put it together, it doesn't fit right. But yeah, I'm happy we're just having two people over. They're folks that my parents see almost every day, if not every day. So it's not like it's anyone's traveling from that far away. It will be really nice to just have a fun Thanksgiving with some people. I'm looking forward to leftovers. I think I got one roll left, like big roll, because we got tiny like dinner rolls, but I'm talking like a big sandwich roll. Like I got a hoagie size roll, and I'm very excited to have that for the leftover sandwich. Because here's the thing: I may be a 41-year-old man, and maybe that is, it is a child's game to make a big sandwich and have leftovers that night. Make a sandwich that night and have leftover turkey. But here's the thing: if I'm eating at 3 o'clock, I don't care how much food I ate at 3 p.m. I'm gonna eat something else before I go to bed because I'm gonna be up for many hours after that. So I'm gonna make a sandwich that night. It will be leftovers. I don't care how good the meal was. I don't care how much I ate. I'm still gonna need to eat a little bit more because that's just me. That's just what I'm about. Um, so yeah, so I'll make a leftovers sandwich with turkey and some cheese and a roll, and it'll be very good. Maybe I'll use leftover dinner rolls if there are a few left. I'll make a couple small little sandwiches, slider style sandwiches. I could do that. I'm not against doing that, but I'm looking forward to just having leftover. I don't do the Thanksgiving sandwich. I don't throw like everything on it like people do the like put some like cranberry on there. They put like some stuffing on there. They'll put mashed potatoes on there. They'll pour it in gravy. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I want a turkey straight out of the okay, sorry, I gotta look at this here. All right, so we're putting some stuff on the sides here. I want turkey from the bird that I have gotten, like that I sliced myself off the bird, Heated up, maybe. Be not heated up. I don't know. Depends on how I'm feeling. I want that, and then I will a little bit of mayo, whatever cheese is around. We got some sharp cheddar in the house. Well, some sharp cheddar, whatever. Maybe we got some. Maybe. Oh, I need H228. Okay, H228. Maybe in the house we got some leftover cheese from appetizers. I don't even know. But I'll do that, and that'll be very good, and I'll be very happy to have that. Um, uh, Chef says Thanksgiving sandwich on a little dinner roll is my favorite. Yeah, I don't hate that. Like I said, I think I've got a hoagie roll, and that'll be a good hearty big thing. But if there's leftover dinner rolls, making up a couple of those sandwiches, totally acceptable and totally great. But yeah. Oh, also, I'll put a little lettuce on there because why not? Because even if there was plenty of greenery at the table, I certainly didn't eat enough vegetables, I'm sure. So throw that on there. Totally, totally good. All right, so we're going to put this on here to make sure their undergating has been clipped off because the undergating is always a thing on these kits. You just got to take it off there. Make sure you're removing it because otherwise you're like, why isn't this lining up right? And that's the answer. So we got to do that. Goes here. Yeah. It goes like that. Great. That's slid in place, and then we'll do the other same thing on the other side. But yeah, looking forward to all of that. Just like hanging out, talking. It'll be nice. Apple pie. Got an apple pie for dessert. Got some vanilla ice cream to go on top of that apple pie. Very happy about that. There will be a pumpkin pie, and I will have none of it because I don't mind like pumpkin bread, but that's the only way I want pumpkin. I'm not a fan of pumpkin pie. It's not my thing. Not interested. But we got apple pie, and I am interested in apple pie, so I'll be going for that. I'll be going in for that. Is this not lined up right? What happened here? This should line up. This? There we go. There we go. So what we got going on here? Hey, Professor Zoidberg just subscribed at tier 1. That's 14 months. So we'll hit the old applause there. Okay, sorry with that. Let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe and Moat into chat. Thank you very much. It's been a while. We switched over to some new sounds because I'm using Stream Elements instead of Streamlabs. So that caught me off guard. But thank you very much, Zoidberg, for renewing your subscription. Thanks for being here for 14 months. That's rad. Appreciate it. And thanks everybody for being here in general, folks that are hanging out in chat on a Wednesday night. Not my typical night for streaming, but as I said, made the decision to do this instead of not doing a build stream, like missing a build stream this week. Instead, we'll miss a game stream because I am not streaming tomorrow. Do not tune in at 9 p.m. Eastern for your usual Thursday because you won't have it because I didn't want to stream Thanksgiving evening. I know a few people are. I would say my alternative would be to watch the Loading Ready Run stream on Thursday because it'll be Ian Horner doing something. I don't know what Ian's doing, but Ian's doing something tomorrow. And he's also Canadian, so, he doesn't really have to worry about this Thanksgiving. But, he's doing something over there. And Tinker Tailor Solder Fry is a big reason I do this. It's a big inspiration. So go check him out. What games have you been playing? Professor Zoidberg asked. So I'm in a bit of a lull right now because I loved Inscription. And I played a lot of Inscription and really, really, really enjoyed it. I don't really go in for roguelikes. I like card builders quite a bit. But the atmosphere was so rad. It's probably my favorite game of the year. That and Chicory are my two faves because I don't know if I count games that are in early access that's coming out this year. I also liked Power Wash Simulator very much. but that's not out of early access, so I'm like, I don't know. I bet those are games that I really like this year. Um, I've been playing a lot of Halo. Halo Infinite multiplayer has just been great. I played with some friends. I got some friends to play together, and that's been fantastic. Because like just rolling through, doing some business, getting some Team Slayer in, getting some Capture the Flag in, cursing when we get games we don't want to play. But it's been really satisfying. So the nice thing is that part of the rotating crew, that Guardians game is surprisingly good. Yeah, I never touched that. Even if it looked good, that didn't, and it didn't. The everything I saw of that game leading up to it, I was like, I don't want to play this at all. But I do hear good things about how the game actually turned out. Um, but yeah, that really was just like no thanks. But some of my Halo crew are original Halo crew people with me. I'm playing with a couple people off and on that I played Halo 1 with and Halo 2 with, and that's unbelievable and rad. And also one of my friends that I played that kind of got back into gaming because Back for Blood, he'd taken a break. Back for Blood was so fun, uh, kind of, sort of, but really reminded us of playing Left 4 Dead together and Left 4 Dead 2. He was like, so uh, our Back for Blood crew ran out of steam very quickly because the progression in there, none of us were super happy with, and it kind of just got old fast. But he was like, "Hey, or is anybody on our Discord being like, hey, is anyone playing Halo?" And he was like, "I've never played a Halo game." And I was like, "This is the one to start because it's multiplayer and free, and we'll roll with you." And it's been really fun. I like a Halo game. It's weird. I haven't been able to say that in a very long time. I think Reach was good. I think ODST was good. Hey, thank you very much for the follow. Akira Yellum, welcome. Happy to have you here. Um, it's fun watching people get back into games considering all the advancements. Yeah, because it's just the thing where you're just like, no problem. And that's me. Welcome. That is you. Happy to have you here. I'm building a model kit. This is the real grade Hi-Nu Gundam. This real grade came out this year. It is apparently kind of hard to find. Just ordered some more from my backlog. Nice. But this is so far anyway, because we've done the lower half of this kit. We started with the feet and worked our way up. Weird. But it has been really fun to build. This has been a very pleasurable build so far. A lot of good little gimmicks because real grades. Also, I don't normally do real grades on stream because they are complicated. But this one has been pretty great. So I have been enjoying it. Oh yeah, and we can do this part here. Look at this, lots of movement here with the chest piece. So that we'll get a lot of maneuvering around there. We're almost done with the chest, and then we'll move on to the arms. So we'll get some of these pieces together. But yeah, I think that's it right now for gaming. I'm still waiting for this very long project to unfortunately can't have links in the chat for new followers and new chatters. I believe I have that set to VIP. I could be wrong, but I think I have this set to VIP or subscriber. But you can list it if you want. I looked today because what are their names? Bluefin. Bluefin is doing well. First off, Bluefin is doing Gundam Base in San Diego. They did a pop up, which is cool. That's cool for them. I'm not at the San Diego. There's a special San Diego Comic Con this year, Thanksgiving weekend. I think that sucks, but they're doing a special, not really Comic Con, kind of Comic Con there, right? So they did a pop up. That's cool. The other thing they're doing is they got a booth, right? So they're like, we got this booth, and you can come by and see whatever. And they're like, we're also going to sell some stuff, online. None of it is model kits that I want. There's a couple model kits that are good, but they're like, hey, yeah, you can buy this $200 model kit. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But I did look today to see if they had anything that was like uh, something I really wanted. And I will look again to see if they list anything, because that would be great. I don't know if they will. I don't know. But I keep my eyes on the Bandai Premium site, keeping my eyes peeled on stuff, doing my pre-orders here and there, trying to do pre-orders for things for next year, make sure that know I'm getting some stuff in the stock. Um, you're getting the ground type Urban Combat. Yes, nice. I haven't gotten any of the battle log kits. I pre-ordered them from USA Gundam Store, and when I pre-ordered them, I did not know. I was not aware that they were going to be timed Target exclusives, and I could have just gone to a Target and gotten them. But so I didn't want to cancel my pre-orders or do anything like that, because it's nice to support small businesses. So I don't have my Live Lance yet. It's supposed to be shipping sometime very soon, and I don't have my Barbatoris, and I want both those. Those are the ones I definitely want. Um, because I mean, the Barbatoris is a four-legged, like, Iron-Blooded Orphans kit, and that just is silly in a way that I'm really into. And then, I mean, obviously, I'm going to buy the Live Lance Heaven because it is a inverted colors, inverted style angel variant of a Death Scythe Hell, and I want that to sell really well because apparently, because a few people got them early, and there's been some videos about them. Some of the sprues say Death Scythe Hell and the date, which means that it looks like maybe even just premium, maybe, whatever, maybe just Gundam base. It looks like we're getting a Death Scythe Hell high grade, a new Death Scythe Hell high grade, and that is fantastic news. That is unbelievably great news because I love a Death Scythe. Um, Also, Gundam base is getting the clear color Death Scythe. I don't think we're going to get that. Maybe Premium Bandai will get that. But I don't know if they will or not. I would obviously love that because that 2020 Death Scythe is a great reissue uh, quality. So, okay, so this snaps in here and then swings down. Okay. We're going to panel line this in just a moment here. We're getting ready to do that. We'll get in there, and then, yeah, that swings down. Okay. And then that would swing up and kind of pop up. It wouldn't fall off like that, obviously. But this would swing up like this if you wanted to get in and out of the cockpit. And then it snaps in place there. And that is the chest. The chest has been built. So now it's time to panel line the chest before we move on to the arms. We'll get our black. We'll get our gray. And we'll just see what we need to do. Speaking of my backlog, I shot a video. It's going to go up on Friday on my YouTube, and patrons will see it. $5 and $10 patrons will see it on Thursday, on Thanksgiving, tomorrow. I shot a video about my backlog. I'm only going to do this probably a couple times a year. It doesn't make sense to do it like monthly or anything, but every once in a while, I want to just like check in to see what I have in the old backlog, what I'm waiting to build next. Because sometimes people ask me like, "Hey, what do you got? What are you waiting on?" And it's nice to take a look at it. So I'll be doing that. I shot that today. That'll go up on Friday, and yeah, a day early, obviously, for $5 and $10 patrons. I think that will be cool, and I hope people like it because it was fun to shoot. Just like organize what I've got, take a look at them, realize, hey, I don't know how to say the name of one of the kits I have. It is from L Game, and I don't know how to pronounce is it Og or is it AG? Og? I don't remember. It's the AUG, but it's like it's the villain mobile suit from the end of the show, and it's that version. And I was like, shit, I didn't even, because when I haven't watched that series in a very long time. I have not watched it in quite some time, and I was like, oh, I should like watch a clip of that again. And so I watched the clip, and I'm just like, nope, do not know how this is pronounced. It's all capital letters AUG, and so I always thought it was Og, but now I'm thinking it isn't Og, and I don't know, and I don't know when I'm going to be building that kit, but I got to find out before I start building it. Um, Professor asked, have prices of kits gone insane like a lot of other things? And the answer to that is yeah, unfortunately, yes. So, um, supply chain stuff certainly hurt. You know, plastics. It's almost all COVID related, right? Plastics went up. Shipping is behind for everything. There were months where people didn't go in to make new products. And then the other side of it is, like a lot of hobbies, there was a high demand. Like in the same way you couldn't get puzzles in 2020 because puzzle consumption went way up, right? Model kit consumption went up. There are people who are like, oh, I don't have a commute anymore, so I can like do some stuff because I'm working from home and I got time, or like, oh, I'm with family and normally we're apart, but we're here. I guess we could like, I kind of need like an activity, or just like, I've been meaning to get back into model kits. I'll buy some model kits. So, and also they weren't necessarily buying from stores because a lot of those stores weren't open. Now, some of them were doing online only business, or even like I think Gundam Planet was doing it. I know I forget the name of it. It's Anime something or other. It's a New York store. They were doing like curbside pickup, so you could like buy from their website and then like come and pick it up if you didn't want to deal with the mail, which was I thought was a good idea. But there were various ways to do it. Uh, but yeah, their stock kind of ran out. I'm glad I picked up my Saturn and Dreamcast pre-pandemic. Yeah, totally. Video games, yeah. Console stuff, like old console stuff. Uh, I don't buy into the idea that people use their stimulus money to buy like model kits and video game systems and anything like that. I think people use their money they would have spent eating dinner out money, but instead they bought groceries money on that stuff. I think they used their stimulus to pay off debt, or supplement their income with that. But I think people use some of their disposable income they were saving by like spending less on gas or on the subway or taxis. Um, they spent less money on that stuff, and they instead fulfilled some of their like love of hobbies. It paid off part of my student loans. Of course, dirty. Yeah, that's great. For me, it was um, be able to pay some of my bills in a timely fashion. That was very nice. And yes, did I buy a couple pieces? I bought a model kit with it. Sure, I did. But that money I would have spent on, I would have spent other money on this on that model kit instead. All right, so we panel line this. I'm going to clean it up here with the eraser. We'll get this looking nice and sharp. With the silver accent pieces on here, it really doesn't need much marker. But we did hit it, so we'll clean that up. Oops. And then this piece likes to keep popping off, which is annoying. So we'll try to get this headpiece on reasonable, get that stuck in there. But once we put the head on, it should be stable. We'll find out. Turns out not leaving the house unless necessary is good for saving money. It certainly is. And of course, there were people who were underemployed and out of work. I mean, I didn't stay in New York. I stayed in New York as long as I could, but that wasn't feasible for me to remain there. So but yeah, I definitely have spent way less money living here. Okay, so we'll start with the arm units and we'll start doing the stuff we can do together. We'll take a pause for the calls at about 10 minutes. But yeah, basically roundabout way saying yes, it prices went up, supply went down, demand went up, and the thing I'm finding is, well, there's popular things like if I want to build a kit that, like I don't know, like I want to build something from Gundam Seed, I can find Gundam Seed kits out there. But if I want to build like more hard to find older kits, like stuff from Gundam Age, a little harder to find things from Gundam Age because that wasn't a super popular Gundam series. So the stuff that I used to be able to find pretty easily is now harder to find. Uh, there's no hobby shop in my area that sells model kits. The closest thing is literally the Target. So I do need to buy stuff online. So I like look for deals here and there, look for things I haven't seen in a long time, try to find stuff that I'm interested in purchasing from those sites, from like USA Gundam Store and Gundam Planet. Um, and of course, those are more expensive because you got to deal with shipping and all that. And then also occasionally I will find things on Amazon. And of course, I have my Amazon wish list. And so some of that stuff is overpriced, but if you get Amazon Prime, you get your free shipping, and it does. And also, weirdly enough, not weirdly at all, buying stuff from Amazon seems to ship in a timely fashion, whereas a lot of other stuff is taking its sweet time. Uh, Also, because a lot of the bigger sites that sell stuff like Big Bad Toys and Gundam Planet and USA Gundam Store, they're getting their stuff picked up in the mail, right? And so they have to wait for someone to come pick it up, and then it has to go and get processed. So that can add some time to it. Um, at what year of streaming Gundam builds will you try your hand at customs and kit bashing? So dirty. That's a good question. I have done one kit bashing project before. I kit bashed a bunch of Iron Blooded Orphans kits together, and I made a because the one thing about Iron Blooded Orphans is the Gundams. There are a bunch of Gundams that were like missing. They're all from like the Book of the Dead, all the names of them, and there are only some that are still in circulation after the big war. So I built one that was like not part of was part of the list, the Book of the Dead, but hadn't been in the show, and it was just a kit bash. I'd be up for doing a second kit bash. I would need. I mean, I have a lot of model kits. Um, I think I would need a little inspiration to get back into it. Uh, um, Customs is a different thing, right? Customs is definitely like certainly paint helps a lot with that, but like being something where you're like, I saw someone do they kit bash together the Barbatorus and a tall geese to make because a tall geese is like a knight, so it's basically the knight. It's a centaur knight, and I was like, and they painted all of it to match the tall geese colors, and it looks great. And I was like, that's a really cool idea. I don't have those kind of ideas. I don't know if I get conceive those. Mostly it's let me take a bunch of model kits and some uh, liquid cement and some blue tack and like make a thing. And I think that's fun. It's a little different. Um, so I would be up for doing another kit bash project. I don't know. I don't want to give you a timeline. I don't want to make any promises, but I will say one is definitely not enough. I would be up for doing a second one because I did enjoy it. So I guess I'll leave there. That like, hey, yeah, I would do this again. Because I did enjoy it. It's stressful, but I liked it. Just like taking a bunch of kits because I do keep some kits around that I like aren't going to be on display, so it is kind of interesting to see what I could do with them. Yeah, I could be up for that. Um, I'm still. I will say this: as long as I am here in South Carolina, I will not be using airbrushing or at all, and I don't think I would use paints while I am here. When I finally leave this particular place and I move to a different location on my own, I would certainly consider maybe doing that. Certainly not airbrushing on stream. I don't think I would do that on stream, but maybe doing some paint. I could see myself maybe giving that a shot, but certainly not here in this environment. I think that is just not going to happen here, because yeah, I'm just not going to get paint fumes around, and I would have to be a much more controlled environment. Because I would need a space that is not like if I want to do like airbrushing here, I would have to set up. Oh, I forgot because we had the renewed subscription, we're up to 47 again, which rules. Thank you very much for that. We're at 47, 47 out of 50. If you would like to subscribe, consider subscribing or gifting a sub. That would be great. But yeah, I just don't see myself getting into any painting anytime soon, because I would need a dedicated space to do airbrushing. Um, you almost need to set out some parts and number them. Let something like dice or chat pick which gets combined. I kind of like that. Yeah, I like the idea of like, hey, I've got some because I toyed around with the idea because I have a lot of Lego. I'm about to send those off for charity. But I have a lot of Lego right now, and I was thinking about like building a mech, and it just never got around to it, and then also kind of lost interest in that and doing that. But yeah, I like the idea of like, like taking chat suggestions of like, hey, I got these 6 arms. What arms should go on this kit? Or like, oh, we could probably kit bash these onto a backpack and put extra. Like, if I'm going to build a kit bash kit, I would definitely want extra arms on it because I want like big weapons, extra arms, like that kind of thing. Things I like on there. So I could like you'd be like, hey, which head do you want to see on here? Um, Having the idea that I was taking Ironblood Orphans kits together and building an Ironblood Orphans like Gundam that we hadn't seen before was a fun idea. I think I used as Shax. Shax was one that hadn't been used, and that was the name. I just looked up names that had that weren't in it. Um, I could see myself doing something like that again because that was fun. It was nice to have like a purpose for it. Um, but yeah, the idea of like having some chat involvement that's fun. That sounds fun. All right, so these pieces have undergate. These pieces don't. Get some more on here. See, 16 is this piece here. Hell yeah. We're going to take a pause for the cause in a moment or two. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel. The usual things. We'll get through that pretty quickly. I did not watch today because of cooking and various other things happening. I did not watch any anime today. So on Saturday, I'll talk about 2 anime shows because I'll talk about Banished and I'll talk about Faraway Paladin on Saturday. Um, but yeah, normally on third, I normally end up watching, even though the episode comes out on Wednesdays, I normally end up watching Banished um, from the Heroes Party. I wanted a soul life in the countryside or wherever that is. I think I got close to saying the whole name. I normally watch that on Thursdays. Did not get a chance today to watch that, so will not be talking about it on stream tonight. But I do have 2 uh, actually, yeah, I've got 2 manga series to chat about, so that's fun. So we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about some other stuff that I'm watching, and see what you're watching in the second hour, um, which we'll be getting to really soon. I'm going to finish these parts here by using A6, 4 A6s, and these parts do have undergate that needs to get cut off, so we'll get that off too. Make sure they all look great. Nice looking pieces here. Pop this out, clean it up, attach it to the kit. But yeah, I'm hoping the Live Lance and the Barbatorus come soon. I really want those kits soon. The Live Lance had gotten delayed, and the last email I got about it said that they were coming and they were planning to get them out before the end of November. We're close to the end of November. I would like that kit, those kits to arrive. I'm in South Carolina. They're coming out of Florida, so it won't take super long for me to get them, but it is frustrating. I do like pre-ordering, but it is frustrating when they don't arrive or when I could have gone to a Target. Also, um, speaking of Target, I am going to be putting an order in. I can't pre-order this. I wanted to from Target's website, but I will be making a purchase at Target for a Lego set that comes out on December 3rd or 4th. I have to double check exactly when it comes out, but it comes up for order in December, and it is a Lego wreath, a Christmas wreath. And so I will be getting that because that sounds like a very fun thing to build right around Christmas. And I think I've built all of the Lego. Yeah, I built the snowman and I built Santa and the reindeer. So I think I've built all of the Lego brickheads that are Christmas related. So maybe there's not a reindeer, and I'm making that up. But I built all those. So the only thing left to do is to build a wreath when that comes out. And then when I get that, I'll also get the entry grade that is a Target exclusive here in the U.S. For what's his name from Demon Slayer, Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. I'll get that too. So this kit does want me to put stickers here on the shoulders that will be completely covered by shoulder armor. So I will not be doing that because it is a waste of my time, because you will not see those stickers at all, and I'm not going to worry about it. Haha. Take that, stickers. Yeah, they're just small little circles you won't see, because you don't see the ones on the feet at all, and I didn't put the ones here on the I didn't put ones on that were in here in the shoulders that you don't see at all, or the arms I should say, because that piece right here was supposed to have a sticker. You will never see that because of the arm and the shoulders, so not worried about it. All right. We're going to take a pause for the cause. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel. Then we'll get back into building. That is what we do around here. Let me just double check this thing real quick. Okay, that's good. All right. Has there been a Nightmare Before Christmas Lego set? If not, how? I don't believe there has been. And I would say that that would be pretty cool. But I don't believe there has. I mean, there's also... Nightmare Before Christmas has like so many things, so much merch that you would be amazed. I'm sure there's like the knockoff Legos did a Nightmare Before Christmas. That's my guess. Anyway, gonna go to the intro screen. All right, now's the part of the stream where I talk about ways you can support the channel. I will get through this very quickly. We will get back to building very soon. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. Let the people know you got these. You're tier 2. You got the Scythe emote. The other 2 people have, or everybody else has the Lego and the Bear Cave emotes. Let the people know, hey, Jan, welcome. If you want to gift a sub to somebody in the community, you want to join the gift sub leaderboard with Aristofan, you could gift a sub. If you've been gifted a sub, you can convert that to a regular subscription. They won't charge you to the end. If you have Amazon Prime, linked it to your Twitch account, you get this token. You can use it for somebody. Consider using it for me. Because if you don't use it, that's just like wasted money. And that, as I said, trying to get up to 50 subscribers. We like the 50. 50 is the sweet spot. But if we're not at 50, that's okay. I understand. And that's fine. But trying to get up there. There are other ways to support what I do here, and we'll talk about that right there. Oh, also bits and coins, always appreciate it. If you got bits lying around, you can give them to me. I will take them gladly, and I appreciate it. Alternative to that, I had a few people drop their Patreon subscriptions, and I get that, I understand, but it's now down to like 130 something, and I'd like it to be at 150. So consider joining my Patreon, patreon.com/PatBear. Get in there. That would be great. There's a $1, a $3, and a $5, and a $10 tier. So different than the tiers here. So maybe it's something you're interested in doing. And if you're not interested in doing that, it's okay, and I get it. Let's see. So you got Patreon. Hey, there's like a free version of this next thing and a paid version. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. For free, you can subscribe to it, and then you get videos that I put up there. It's just a good deal. You get cool videos. Now, I put a video up every Wednesday, and if you want to see that on Tuesday and get it a day early, so instead of seeing it today when I put it out, you could have seen it yesterday, then you could join. $2 a month, you get videos on Tuesday instead of Wednesday, and you get a little notification. It's a small thing that I can do, and I'm happy to do it. So consider becoming a member with that. Also, direct donations. I've got a coffee set up, and I have my PayPal link here. If you want to do a one-time donation, knowing full well that the money you give there, that one time, goes to buying model kits. Because everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, through Twitch, and through Patreon, all goes to buying model kits and equipment. Thanks to you, I was able to get a Stream Deck this year so that I can have... My Stream Deck is a soundboard, and I can play sound effects, which is very silly. But then when people resub or subscribe the first time, I can play applause. When they give bits, I can do a cha-ching noise. I have a dramatic thing, which is unnecessary and fun. various little simple things that I can do because it is fun to be able to do those silly things. Thanks to y'all. And also, I can keep buying model kits like this Real Grade, which I bought because I had a couple of good months. Like, we hit like almost 70 subscribers around my birthday, which is incredible. And then, like, Patreon was at a pretty good high for a little while there, and it was great. We're a little lower now. Love to get back to those numbers. So these are ways you could. Also, yes, I do have the ska button, which is tied into throwing in channel points. You can have me play that ska sound effect, which I will change in December to a similar but different song. Uh, okay, more links that I want to share with you. Okay, I have an Amazon wish list. I keep this up to date as best I can. I put model kits and Lego sets in there. No, Den regards the soundboard. I'm not sure they're a good idea. I hear you and I understand. Look, I don't know if I can find some non DCMA, like the common Christmas ska song. If I can find one that has a use, Creative Commons use that will not get me in trouble, then I will certainly consider grabbing that and putting it in next month. I don't know. Can't make any promises anyway. But I can say that if you buy anything from my, I'll promise you buy something from my Amazon wish list, I build it before I build anything else. It jumps the queue. It jumps my backlog. I've got Lego sets. I've got high grade kits, master grade kits, inexpensive kits, very expensive kits. Um, yeah, kits that I'm like, oh, that kit's $32. That's kind of weird for a model kit. Whatever. Kits that are $54. That's too high for a model kit. What is even happening here? But I try to keep that up to date and keep things that are kind of interesting and cool. And also, there's some equipment at the bottom, like you want to buy me a new SSD. That'll be nice. I need a little more storage. You want to buy me these tweezers that are meant for jewelers that are very good for sticker application. You could get that. Or a top coat, because sometimes it's nice to put some top coat on your model kit after you put some stickers and decals on. But yeah, you could buy something like that. And again, it jumps the queue. That is a thing I can do. We'll get back to building very soon. Sorry for the delay, but I gotta read these ads because I don't have sponsors. USA Gundam Store, mentioned them before. They are not a sponsor of the stream, but if you buy a gift card from them, they send you an email with the gift card code, and then you could send me a DM with that code, and that would be an alternative to buying something off Amazon if you're set against buying anything on Amazon. And I get that. It's nice to have alternatives. Again, I am going to look into Target. I have not looked into it, setting up Target wish lists where you can't see my address. That's the important thing. So I'm looking at that, but I have not been able to figure that out, and I apologize. Okay, Discord. That's a way to support me for free. Jump on my Discord. It's cool. And yeah, Discord's free. A couple links I'll share with you. Pat Bear's Anime Club. Put up a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. I'm ranking tabletop and card game anime. I picked 9 anime that revolve around tabletop games or card games, and I ranked them. Ones I liked, ones I didn't. And you can give your opinions in that video if you wanted to. I put up a new episode of Best of Build With Baer. These are little short clips from my streams. They all have embedded subtitles because they're like 30-second clips, so it's nice to do. And this is, I talked about the toilet flush sound effect, and it's just me like talking about why I made the choice to make one of my sound effect slots a toilet flush, and me just being drunk with power, basically, of having a soundboard. So that's a clip that you could watch if you wanted to. We're going to talk about some manga that I have been reading in just a second. I'm going to drink some water because that is a good thing to do. And then we're going to get back into model kit building. We'll do that, and I'm going to start doing this as my transition into building model kits after that. This is my new thing here. Is dramatic. It is to cover the shift. I don't know if I'm going to do that all the time, but I think it was a funny idea. So we at least did it there. Anyway, let's get back to building. We're going to talk about two series. If you read all the text I just put on in the chat, it will look like I'm talking about many series. I am not. I am talking about one series. It's just that it's just that it's got a very long title. So I'm going to tell you about Kukuku. He is the weakest of the four heavenly monarchs. I was dismissed from my job, but somehow I became the master of a hero and a holy maiden. I'm missing a quotation mark because Kukuku, he is the weakest of the four heavenly monarchs, is a quote, and then it is, I was dismissed from my job, but somehow I became the master of a hero and a holy maiden. This one's like fun. It's a fun action fantasy series. Instead of the now kind of cliche anime trope of the person in the hero's party that everyone thought was weak got kicked out and then went on their own and turned out to be pretty awesome. This is not that sort. It sort of is, but it isn't. This one is. So there are four heavenly kings, and they all grew up together, and they called themselves the four heavenly kings. They're all helping out the demon lord in the war between the demon lord and the earth realm, right, or the humans or whatever. So our dude never leveled up because he never saw combat. So he is the weakest of the four kings. You could agree that he's the weakest, but he's not weak at all. And so people were like, "Oh, you're the weakest. You're the weakest. That means you're weak. Get out of here. We don't need anybody who's weak." Like there's like a new demon king, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't need you in this." It's like, but here's the thing. Jesus, I thought that was two titles. I know, Lashbrook. He is the weakest of the four heavenly demon monarchs. I was dismissed from my job, but somehow I became a master of a hero and a holy maiden. Did you wonder, is this from a light novel? The answer is, of course it is, because it does describe the plot. Anyway, here's the thing about this dude, our main character. He could just instantly kill people. He could just instantly kill. He's like, yeah, I don't have like fire magic or wind magic. I have death magic. Like he just can say, he can also, he's got a little Book of the Dead. He killed somebody instantly, then looked up where they lived in the Book of the Dead and then like found them. But then also he comes across like the saint, and he like knows who the saint is, and he's just like, oh shit, okay, I guess I'll help you. You actually seem nice. And he's like, the hero, the new hero, she's hurt, she's dead. And he's just like, yeah, all right, opened the book and like said what happened to her, and he just wrote, and then she woke up, and so he just revived her with his magic. So he is incredibly powerful. It's very clear that there's a larger plot going on, and it's going to be complicated. But really, what it is you got this like beast girl, because she's like part, I think, wolf. I can't remember. Who is the hero? She's young and inexperienced. She shouldn't necessarily be doing this. And then the saint, who is like very good at her job, but apparently has not understood that this is a someone from the demon realm. John, just subscribe for 3 months. Let's hit the old applause. Applause. Throw the Bear Cave logo aside at the mode. Thanks for subscribing 3 months. Happy Thanksgiving Eve to you as well. So anyway, they're like, hey, be my master. You're really strong. And so one thing I really loved is she's not great with a sword. She's a hero. And so she's like trying to honor the traditions, but she's not great with a sword. And he's just like, well, actually, you know what you would be good at? Because he like is annoyed that her hugs hurt so much because she's like a strong hugger. So basically, he teaches her how to suplex people, and like we haven't seen enough of that yet. But she does like instantly take out somebody just from being like, oh yeah, like grab and throw. And so she like, so basically, and that's just like, for me, lovely is that now we've got the hero who is a wrestler. She's just learning like amateur wrestling talents, and I just think that is a great thing that we don't have enough in anime. and manga. So on board. But like I said, like the reason why he got dismissed is most likely because one of his old childhood friends is planning to take like either is planning to take over or is planning to diminish the Demon Lord's army. But a couple people are like starting to like catch on to like, hey, um, we can't do what he did because like all of his underlings who were there to help like uh who are ostensibly there to raise the dead because demons, that is success for their plan is to have a bunch of demons like come back. They can't do it as well as he did, and then the guy that took over his army can't do that job as well as he did, and they're starting to realize they're like, oh shit, we fucked up. But who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen with it? Um, I think I'll keep reading it. It's fine. It's not like great, but it's certainly like good. I would say that it's a solidly good manga. So I'll be checking more of that out, I guess. Um, I mean, I like the sporting cast. I like the Saint. I like the hero. I think they're fun. So that's I've read books with less than I like in it. So we'll kind of go with that. And then the other one is Inferior Psychic Underworld Returnee. And this one, I think I gotta read the light novel because the manga is over. I believe it got to 10 chapters before it ended, and apparently this was like, whatever it was being. They're gonna get the fourth volume, but apparently it was just like it just didn't do well, and so it's gotten canceled. But it did get to give some sort of closure, which is nice. So like it just wrapped up in a way that I thought was like pretty cool. And I would like to see more, but they really crammed some stuff in here, and so I would like to go. And the light novels go farther than where the manga went, so I would like to go back because I do feel like some stuff got condensed. But basically, here's the easy elevator pitch for this. Our main dude is from a long line of magic users. Lots of magic. That was their thing. Strong, powerful. They protect the earth. All this stuff, right? They get some stuff done. Our dude can't use magic, and he's kind of like the outcast of his family because he can't use magic because his mother is from the spirit realm, and here's the thing, he's got a lot of magic. He's got a lot of spirit magic and regular magic, and they contradict one another and cancel each other out. So even though his magic ability is really high, he can't really use that magic for anything. So his grandfather is like, okay, I don't think you can use any of this stuff, but let's go get you trained in something else. Maybe you can use Sendo. So he ends up using a third magic because it turns out that he can he's not using either of it. He's using like a combination of the two, kind of. But turns out because he just has like capacity for it, he can do that. So that's awesome. Except this cool magic he can use, if he uses too much of it, the world forgets who he is. So the magic he has, which is incredible, has the price that he will remember, and his family and his friends will forget all about him. And that is kind of revealed as the story progresses, because he's got his high school friends, and it's fine, but he's running out of money. He's constantly running out of money, and some bad luck and all this other stuff. And so he wants to go to this academy and get ranked. That's his big thing in this first chapter is, I'm going to go to this school and I'm going to get ranked so that I can get a proper job. But of course he gets mixed up in some other stuff. And then I'm not going to get too deep into this because I do think that Inferior Psychic Underworld Returnee is great. The Returnee part and the part where he has memories that are buried or that no one remembers of him. Because there's some sadness in this, but then it takes a holy shit, there's a lot of sadness going on here. Like this dude that's and isn't this always the way? The dude that's kind of smiley all the time and kind of like, like, hey, things are fucking rough, but he's like got a positive attitude. Well, he has a lot of heartbreak, and he has a lot of dead bodies in his wake that are not his fault, but maybe they are his fault. And it's fucking rough. And even the fact that like you can save the world and people won't remember who you are is like really sad. So I think it was very good. I'm sorry. I'm bummed that it won't continue. But I do think that it was pretty great. And I would like to, like I said, I'm generally a manga over a light novel kind of guy. But I'm gonna investigate this light novel because I would like to see if the manga was rushed. 'Cause I feel like the second portion of it had to be rushed. So I would like to see more of it and see where it goes. But yeah, I recommend it quite a bit. That is Inferior Psychic Underworld Returnee. I think it was a quality story, and I would recommend it. Um, Coming up, I will be talking. I've got a couple of stories that I'm going to be checking out. Kimi to Pico Pico is one that like is like a cute like high school meet cute story about a dude that like just gets to high school and he's like, I'm so excited about joining club. I'm going to join the video game club, and then I'll be able to talk to people about video games and play video games at school. I finally am going to be able to meet people that like video games. And he opens the door, and sitting there is a gal or a garu, but like a scary girl, like a kind of tough looking girl is there. And she's just like, come in and play games with me, play video games. But the video games that she likes are old video games, classic consoles. What? And I haven't read it yet, but I hear very cute things about it, about the two of them. And it's like real video games that are old, and then like knockoffs of current games. Like I believe they play like a fake version of Animal Crossing together. But it sounds like a very cute book, and I'm going to be checking that out. And so I'll give my review slash book report on that on Saturday, I assume. So that one's one I want to check out. Or the other manga that I will be checking out because I like to keep up on some stuff. There's I don't know if I'm gonna read Make-san. I forget the title of this one. Make-san is I know the Japanese name, but there's like a full name of it, and I can't remember the whole name. Uh, let's see if I can. Oh yes, Mika-san can't conceal her emotions, which is also the maid who can't hide her feelings is another way to call that. I don't know if I'm gonna be uh, checking that one out. Um, because I think that I got more interested in it when I realized that she's not like she is. So basically, it's the idea of like two high school students, one of whom acts like a maid and is like the maid in the house, and and their like definite interest in one another and possible relationship. But I was like, I don't know. But there's not an age issue, which is good, and also it seems like uh she's there to act like the maid, but she's not hired to be the maid. I think that like she was offered the chance to just move in and decided if she was going to move in, she was going to like take care of the dude. Um, and I don't know why because I haven't read it yet. So I was like, oh, that could be cute. I might check that out. So that's a possibility. I know I'm going to check out Kimito Pico Pico. I don't know if I'm going to read Make-san, Micah-san. And then I might read Last Boss, um, which is an interesting take on the reincarnation story because it is the reincarnated video game, and I've been reincarnated in this video game, and I am uh I am now that I've been reincarnated, I reincarnate just as the hero is entering the demon castle to defeat me because I'm the demon lord. But thing I like about this particular take, which interests me, and I might check it out, as I said, is that the uh, the guy isn't like remembering Japan. He remembers that this is a video game, and he remembers that he played this video game, but he's still the dominant figure as the Demon Lord. It's just he now has memories of it being a game and like how the game works. So he's like, wait, the hero is defeats me no matter what, so I guess I'll fake my death so that I don't have to deal with her. Uh, um, so yeah, so it's a little different than sorry. So I need D6. Okay, so it's a little different than your standard um, uh, manga like reincarnation isekai kind of story because he's still like who he is. Like he doesn't remember his past yet. I think I've read like half of the first chapter, and so I might check that one out because I kind of like that idea. But I think it's him like it seems like it is him escaping from his destiny by faking his death, and then being like, okay, now I'll just live however I want. But he's still like the demon lord because it's not like that thing where he's like, oh, I have all the demon lord's powers and I'm like a human guy. He's like, no, I'm the demon lord. I got demon lord stuff to do. Could have just killed the champion, but he was like, I guess there'd just be another one. So instead, I'll fake my death, which I think is a fun way of dealing with that problem of like, oh, I gotta like deal with this. All right, I need F 22 and 24. That's 22. There. Flip Flop says, okay, here's my question of the night, Pat. What's the significance of the colors above image of your model? Yes, so where it says white, gray, and else black, that is the color code for my markers. That is to remind me because I should remember this, but it is mainly to remind me that for every part that is white here, all these white parts, I'm going to use my gray marker to panel line those. So I'm going to hit all of these spots here. You can kind of see a little bit of it because they stand out a little bit there, but the overhead light does kind of blow it out. I'm going to use the gray marker on all of that. And then everything else, I'm going to use the black marker. So I'm going to hit all the blue, I'm going to hit the silver, I'm going to hit the gold with black. I have a brown marker as well, which I normally use brown for red and red-like colors because I just think that looks good. But yeah, it is just a color guide for me to be able to quickly look at that and go, oh, these are the colors I'm doing. So it is for you to watch along, but it also is for me to remember. Because that way, like, especially if I haven't paid attention or it's been a couple days since I built the kit, I'm like, wait, what did I decide I was going to do on that? But then I'll get like a pale pink that's almost a white. Do I want to do gray on that? Do I want to do black on that? I'll do gray. People have different ideas of that. Like some people use brown for yellow or gold. I don't like how that looks, so I don't do that. But some people do. That is their preference for that. People have different opinions on those things. But I have mine. But mostly it's just a nice way of me remembering where they gotta go and what colors has to be. So let me know, folks. What are you watching? What are you looking forward to? Maybe you got some time off this weekend. So this long weekend. White wine and with fish, red with steak. Indeed. But yeah, let me know, folks, because maybe you got some time coming up, and you're looking for something to do, and you're gonna take some time off, or you got a little time. You're gonna check up on a series. Maybe you're gonna watch that anime that is based on League of Legends that people are saying good things about, but I don't care about League of Legends, and also don't really feel like supporting Riot in any way, shape, or form. Maybe you're going to check out that. Maybe you're finally, even though I've been talking so much shit about it, but you don't care about the shit I've been talking about, you're going to check out that Cowboy Bebop. Or maybe you're just like getting caught up in Succession because you're like, finally, let's get into it. John says, we're halfway through Evangelion. I got 4 days off, so hopefully to finish it. Well, that's a lot. That's a tough show to. That's a show that does need some time to like think about what you just said, or like have it wash over you, or step away from it. So that is going to be a tough one to marathon. But good luck. Rosef says, yeah, I watched all Cowboy Bebop. It got worse as it went along, but I'd be interested in seeing a second season that responds to criticism. Yeah, I mean, I think like it's possible that the second season could be interesting, freed from some shackles of trying to like fake make good and instead not make good. But I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not too keen on more of that. Um, Thinking about picking up. Oh yeah, Shin Megami Tensei 5, but it's too close to Endwalker to really get a new RPG. Yes, I mean you look. You can't stack RPGs like that. It'll break your brain. So you gotta pick your battles. Um, I picked up the first 4 issues of the manga of My Hero Academia. Enjoy. I love My Hero, and I think the manga is great. I think it is a fantastic representation of the story. Um, not watching much, but I decided to play through the Halo games before Infinite comes out. Hell yeah, Lashbrook. Enjoy. Um, I'm 10 hours into. Oh, yeah, I won't be heartbroken if it's not ruined, but I'll watch if it does. Rose was saying about that. I understand. John says to Dirty, I'm about 10 hours into Shin Megami Tensei 5 and loving it. It's not going to be a quick play. That's what I've heard. You're quad stacked in RPG. Yeah, totally. You've been playing Halo 1 on easy with infinite ammo and the library. It's still annoying. Yeah, they didn't. Like, Halo got better when they, like, jiggered some stuff around and worked on some stuff. It got better, but they didn't like fundamentally make the library a more pleasant experience. It's still rough, but yeah, enjoy. I haven't gone back to Halo 1 or 2 in a long time. I should, because I've been interested. I've been hanging out, having fun with Halo. I mean, I'll be playing more of. Okay, I need 42. I'll be playing more Infinite this weekend. I got some time carved in. I've got some time carved in this weekend to do because it's been a little while since we've been able to do it. Getting a little more D&D with my D&D crew. Excited to have some time for that carved. Um, F the Flood, indeed. And Judd says, I've never played Halo 2, but I have a whole MCC on PC now. I mean, I loved Halo 2. I thought it was really great. I think it really feels good as a shooter. I really enjoyed my experiences with 1, and I loved playing 2 at the time. Of course, a lot of that was playing multiplayer stuff, but the solo campaigns I certainly enjoyed of both of them. But yeah, obviously I don't want to be playing Infinite and just try with hopefully grouping up and just playing a bunch of nonsense and having a real good time with it. I'm looking forward to doing all of that because yeah, I like my crew right now. We're not similar. Here's the thing. Often you want to be like you would think you'd be like, yeah, I want to like play with people who are all of the same level as me, right? We're all coming together. No, 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 no. I got a couple people who are real fucking good at Halo, and then there's the rest of us. And it actually does balance out really well that we got a few people who are really, really good, and then people like me who are not so good, because it ends up making it feel a little more fair. I don't know if they're having the best time in the world, but they're having a good enough time playing with friends. And we're having a great time having someone in our team that can use a sniper rifle fairly well. That's great. Uh, it's weird that Halo 4 got absorbed in the MCC, but 5 hasn't. Yeah, I mean, it's eventually it will, but not right now because it's too close to Infinite probably. A big team battle with at least 3 other people is just a fun, casual time. Yeah, totally. When you can get people together that it's a good time. But yeah, it's nice to have a couple people who are like very good at understanding what needs to happen in a game like this and being like, oh no, yeah, no, I can shoot. Yeah, I'll take care of this. And just be like, great, thank you. Um, okay, so this goes like this. These arms are different. These arms are built differently, and so I've been like, what does this want me to do? How does this want me to do it? I understand why we weren't building at the same time because this is not a fully symmetrical. So I now understand why they weren't like do all these and then just flip these around. It's like no, it is a little different. Um, oh, I keep saying I'm going to talk about wrestling and I never did, but like um, it's like there's some stuff happening in WWE that I'm like totally okay with, and then there's some stuff that is like just like the most boring bullshit that I'm like, yeah, I don't really care about what's going on here. My big thing is it's just like, look, you can't have Xavier Woods lose so easily in Survivor Series. That's just like, come on, he's king of the ring. Don't have him just like job. It wasn't a job, but it wasn't like as good as it should have been. But I've been loving what he's doing because it's like he's not turning heel, but he's certainly being like confident that could be heelishly confident. I really like that. It's really good for Xavier. Good on him. Look, I don't give a shit about the. Here's the thing. I'll eat my words. I'm not gonna eat my hat, but I will eat my words. Um, I didn't think they would pay off the egg at all, and they did. Xander is raiding with a party of 20. That's the opposite of what happens. Normally, I raid Xandra, but this time I got a raider. Welcome, raiders. Um, yeah. So, hey, raiders. Well, here we go. And yes, welcome. Hi, I'm Pat Bear. I'm doing well, and I'm happy to have you here, and I'm happy that everybody came in. Yeah, Lashbrook put in the emotes. Let's show Lysander. That was the manga that we talked about tonight, so you can see what we were chatting about earlier. But let me just throw these in here. Um, all these emotes that my viewers are putting in the chat were made by Xandra, which is very great. Xandra made those fantastic emotes for money. I paid her money to do it. Wasn't she didn't do it for free. I paid her the wage that she asked for. It was a so yeah. Um, this is the Build With Baer Workshop. I'm a model kit builder. I occasionally play video games. Usually I do that on a Wednesday, but tomorrow is Thanksgiving here in the United States. Uh, and so I was like, you know what? Uh, I'm not going to play video games on Wednesday because I'm taking tomorrow off because of Thanksgiving here in the US. And instead, I'll build tonight. So that's what we're doing here. We're building model kits. We're hanging out. Um, I've got a little bit time left in the stream, not too much, but I do promise you this, Raiders. I will take you to another stream in like 20 minutes, and it'll also be good, and you'll have a good time going on that raid. Because, much like I raid Xandra, I raid people who are fun and have good communities. They might not all be model kit builders, which I primarily am, and in fact, very few of them are, but they're always good, cool people. Occasionally, they are playing like games that I don't want to watch. Like, we've rated Mary Kish, and she's playing like horror games, and I'm like, hey, enjoy Silent Hill. I'm out of here. But like, Mary's chat is fantastic. Like, we're gonna go where there's good community and good people streaming. That is a Pat Bear promise. And we go back to the main here. We'll get back into it. We're gonna get. Oh, we got one in here. I got a private message, so I don't need. Anyway, I got asked to explain the egg. This is the thing that happened in WWE. They had a pay-per-view on Sunday, and then on Monday they paid off this thing. And here's all you really need to know: Dwayne the Rock Johnson is in a movie that Netflix made, whose name I cannot remember and do not care about. The MacGuffin or not MacGuffin in that, the object that there's a expensive egg in that movie. And because that movie sponsored Red Notice, thank you, Ghost Valve, Red Notice. Because that movie sponsored part of the pay-per-view on Sunday. It's a Cleopatra egg, yeah. It's just like a big expensive egg. Because that movie was a sponsor, Vince McMahon, who had the who is no. I wish they brought back the gobbledygooker. See, that's a terrible, terrible. Vince McMahon shows up and he's got, check out this egg. And then a bunch of people who get paid to be wrestlers had to pretend like that egg was a big deal. People say that wrestlers aren't good actors, but they all really, really tried to sell the idea that they thought it was cool that their boss had a big egg. Anyway, Vince McMahon goes backstage later in the show. He's like talking about the egg. The egg is missing. Someone stole the egg. And then on Monday, we found out that a wrestler came in to take a selfie with the egg because one of his things is he takes selfies, which is not interesting at all, but is a thing that he does. It's a terrible gimmick. It's not really a gimmick. So he took a photo of the egg, but security was so high that he, instead of taking the photo quickly, stole the egg to take a photo with it later, and he returned the egg. And he got a title shot for being honest. And the person that found him and convinced him to turn himself in didn't get anything because he's a snitch. And that is actually okay. But here's the real thing. The real thing. It's terrible. This was a silly nonsense thing. All of that is nonsense and bad and not good. But I will say this. I will give them this credit. They did attempt to explain what happened. Because there's a lot of things that happen in wrestling that happen, and then we don't know why. If you have watched professional wrestling, you may have heard of the lockbox. Oh, people are scared of what's in that lockbox. What's in the lockbox? We don't know. We just don't know. There was one time where a wrestler was like, you called me on my cell phone to tell me to do this. And the other guy was like, no, I didn't. And they're like, who's lying? Well, it turns out the guy broke into his own friend's office to text himself on his friend's phone. And it was all his plan. Why did he do that? We don't know, and we never will. Because neither of those two people are actively wrestlers anymore. This is the thing that happens in wrestling, and particularly in WWE, where so long-term storytelling doesn't really happen, and things happen, and they won't be justified. And you as a person who is watching the things are like, hey, whatever happened with that lockbox? And their response is, it doesn't matter because it never did. Because they don't start with knowing the payoff. They start with the idea and they commit to the idea. And then later they might think of the reason why it happened. There was a wrestler, and one of his gimmicks was he had a cage that was covered with a thing. And it scared people when they looked inside the bag to see what was in the cage. And then eventually it was a mechanical spider. But it wasn't a mechanical spider. But why would people be scared by it? Obviously fake looking mechanical spider. They wouldn't be. Because when those people looked into that bag and were scared, there was nothing in the bag. Because they hadn't decided what was in the bag. They decided that Eric carried a bag around, and that what was in the bag scared people. But they hadn't decided what was in the bag, because deciding what was in the bag takes forethought and planning, and then you have to pay it off. But if you don't care about what the payoff is, you can just do the thing. Yes, flip-flop slap fight. I am sure when they decided that an old lady was pregnant, which was funny at the moment, they weren't thinking, how are we going to pay this off? And then they did have a payoff. They don't think about where it's going to go. They don't think about a thing they want to do and then backtrack and fill in the blanks. They think about, what are we doing in the moment? This is a company that throws away their scripts hours before the show starts. So you don't get to do things. You don't get to do long-term storytelling. You don't get to do planning because everything is rushed to make it more spontaneous and theoretically better. It's not good. It's a bad system. Um, they're not the only ones that do this. Uh, because people were like, "Oh, the long-term storytelling of AEW. AEW has long-term storytelling. AEW knows where they want to go with certain things, but they never really, in my opinion, quite know how to get there. And also, there are not enough people there whose job it is to write things. There are a lot of people whose job it is to produce things, but there are not a lot of writers that work for that company. So you end up with things where you're like, hey, we're going to have like 8 weeks of this storyline. You're like, this storyline doesn't need to be 8 weeks or 10 weeks. This storyline doesn't need to happen at all. Why is it taking so long? Oh, we don't know. We're just doing it because we know how we want to end, but we don't know how to get there. So it is kind of, in many ways, the opposite problem. But to their credit, a thing that AEW does, All Elite Wrestling does, which is good, is that they leave things ambiguous enough that you can then kind of fill in your own blanks about how you get from A to B, which is good. But yeah, that is a company that needs more writers and producers and less wrestlers in charge of their own destinies, because people want to think that that's great, and parts of it is great, but some of it isn't. All right, so we've got this arm has a gun on it. That's cool. And then this arm pops like this, and that's where the beam saber lives, which is very cool because it means you can just pop that out and you got a beam saber. Also, better hiring practices. Yeah, I mean, Lashbrook right now they have better. They keep people around for longer. We'll see what happens, because right now that's not a profitable company. That it's not a huge business, but that is not a profitable business. So we'll see what fucking happens for long term with that company. They could theoretically turn a profit any day now, but it's going to take a little while to do that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. How much of the storylines wrestling do you think the fan theories dictate as time goes on? Like Vince hears people talking about X and they take into account. No, I mean, they shouldn't have hired. They should have better hiring practices. Yeah, at the very least, they should not have hired Jay Lethal. That fucking sucks. Great. Yeah, and Bobby Fish, that it just makes sense to hire him. But yeah, they definitely shouldn't. So Flip Flop Slap Flight. Here's the thing that sucks the most about WWE. They want to go out of their way to prove the fans wrong. They want to prove that the fans are wrong for thinking the way they do. They don't listen to the fans. Like the audience is booing Roman Reigns for years. Now the audience boos Roman Reigns because he's a heel, and they actually cheer him because they think he's doing a great job as a heel. But for years and years, the audience was just like, no, we reject this wholesale. And then they were like, we're sticking with it. It honestly, literally took that man to have cancer and beat cancer into remission and return for the audience to be like, okay, yeah, all right. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. But they weren't like doing that when they were like, this is the next big thing. They booed The Rock for liking his cousin Roman. They were like, no. And then the audience was like, no, we're good. Right. But listening what they want, they veer in a different direction. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? So like Rusev was a heel, but he was getting over. His gimmick worked. The audience loved Rusev. He was over. They loved Rusev Day. They were buying t-shirts. And according to Miro, Rusev, when he was talking about, fully turning face, he was told, oh no, this is ironic. They actually aren't backing you. This isn't real. And he was like, but they cheer for me. And he was told, oh no, they're not into it. And he was like, but they buy my merch. My t-shirt sales are as good as other faces. And they were like, yeah, no, that's ironic. Because in their heads, Rusev was not going to ever be a big, huge face draw because he's Bulgarian. So it's just like, no. So this isn't going to work. And it's just like, okay. So it's just, yeah, like, and to the point where, like, on occasion, they have given into extreme pressure to people. The biggest example, in my opinion, is Daniel Bryan. You know what it took to get them to actually get behind Daniel Bryan in a meaningful way? His yes chants were starting to appear in sports. People were doing it as victory cheers in major sports. And the only thing WWE loves more than making people who like their products unhappy is having mainstream acceptance. So that is the thing that took that for Daniel Bryan takeoff was him going mainstream, and then they have to accept it. Um, yeah, he's a terrible person, and also he's not a visionary. And it's bad. It's awful, all, top to bottom. Sports, not sports entertainment, indeed. Um, but yeah, it's bad. Bad news, not great. Um, and then AEW has some bad hiring practices, and then certainly also um, has an abundance of talented women that get time on their YouTube shows, and if they're lucky, one match on their television programs. And it's bad, and they're not no long-term writing there, nothing really great happening. Great talented people who don't get to do anything cool, and it's a real fucking bummer because there's some real talent in that division. They don't have anything more than, and then they're like, "Hey, Tony Khan, what do you think about doing a all women's pay per view like NWA have?" And then Tony Khan being like, instead of saying we don't have any plans to do that or that's something we're thinking, he's like, I don't get enough credit. I paid a lot of money to have that. Like I paid everybody that I lent to them to do that show, and I didn't get thanked enough for that. And it's just like, okay, you're a millionaire. Why don't you calm the fuck down? I'm sorry that people didn't, kiss your feet because you spent some money so they could do a show. What the fuck? Uh, do people still watch Ring of Honor? So now no one can um, flip flop stop fight because they have shuttered Ring of Honor. People were still watching Ring of Honor. They paid people for a very long time during the pandemic, and they theoretically will come back. They're paying everyone through December, and then basically, doing away with everyone's contracts. But people who are there can work other places immediately, which was cool. Uh, I think my question and your answer is the truest tale of that last Brook. Yeah. Do people still watch Ring of Honor? So here's the thing: Ring of Honor was still doing okay. They had some good signees. Um, I still think Kenny King is fantastic. They had Danhausen. And Danhausen was doing stuff with PCO and was having incredibly weird stuff. Hopefully, Dan is currently injured, but I hope someone picks him up and he can do some managing, or he can do some just vignettes. Impact would be a great place for Danhausen. AEW would be a fantastic home for that. I mean, he fit, him being like, I want him to have a program where he is mad at the Dark Order, and not part of the Dark Order, and but also is good friends with all the Dark Order. Um, yeah, I heard Ring of Honor covered people pretty well through the pandemic. Um, no, Jeff Jarrett is probably doing another thing. Who knows? But yes, Ring of Honor did apparently do well by its performers. Um, and then MLW is back, and they're paying people pretty well, so some people are working there, which is good. Impact just had a bunch more tapings. They're still taping. They're not having live audiences and doing a live show. We'll see where they end up with that. Yeah, I don't know. Jonah is at Impact. That's Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed is a fantastic wrestler, and it is unbelievable that he got let go by EW or by WWE. But yeah, Jonah is there, all capital letters, Jonah. And that's great because that is an Australian gentleman. I'm glad he got work in the States. It didn't have to go back to Australia because that is rough for folks that are from another country that are here. We won't get to the shoulders today. We got a lot done with this kit. We got both arms done. We got the chest. So when we started like this. And now we have a chest and we have arms, but we don't have shoulders yet. So I'm just going to tentatively pop these in here just so we can look at them. But we got to put the shoulders on tomorrow. So these are not done. But we've gotten a lot done with this kit. And as promised, we are going to raid. Thank you for folks that came in with Xander and hanging out. You don't build a Hi-Nu in a day. No, Hi-Nu wasn't built in a day. Thank you, everybody that came on the raid. Consider giving me a follow. If you like model kit building, if you like conversations about anime and video games and wrestling and all kinds of other things with a nice, fun community, consider giving me a follow here. I build model kits Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, taking tomorrow off. And then on Wednesday, I usually play video games. But yeah, taking Thanksgiving off. We are going to raid, as I said. We're going to find someone cool out there doing some cool shit, and we'll go hang out with them. So feel free to come along in this raid. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving, or you have a great Thursday. Because for some people, it's just Thursday tomorrow. But I hope it's good for you, and you have fun. We are going to go... yes, I will have a good Turkey Day. Who are we going to go raid? Who's doing stuff that we're going to go hang out with? Oh, weird. We don't have a lot of people that I want to go... maybe it's because it's Wednesday. Just like, yeah, not a lot of people that I normally would go and raid are doing stuff right now. Oh, Timur is doing stuff. So we're gonna go. I don't think I've actually ever hung out with Timur's chat before. So we're gonna go do that. But I think that'll be fun. But yeah, we're gonna go give him a raid. So feel free to come along on this raid. I hope you have a great rest of your night. We'll get this set up. I'm happy I was able to do this. But yeah, so we're going to go raid. I think he's just hanging out, doing stuff. So I think we'll do that, and that'll be fun. Follower, subscriber only chat, so we'll come hang out there. Yeah, I think he's just hanging out, and we're going to go give him a raid. So feel free to come on this raid. I'll see you in the next stream. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.